is Damaris, and today we're going to be making an Oriental-style chicken with some vegetable stir-fry. We're going to add some peanut butter into the vegetables. That's going to up the protein level, and then for our chicken, we're going to have some pineapple in there. It's going to be some crushed pineapple, so it's going to be a little different because I'm sure we're all tired of the everyday chicken recipes now that the holidays are over and everyone's trying to lean out and fit into their skinny jeans. So here we have the chicken. Now the first thing we're going to do with this chicken is that we're going to marinate it. We're going to be using soy sauce instead of salt. Now that's going to give it like a bit of an oriental flavor, and also it's going to substitute any use of salt in this recipe, because if not, your chicken's going to be way too salty. All right, so we're gonna use from 2 to 4 cloves of garlic. We're gonna mash them up. You can use the store-bought crushed garlic already, but I prefer to do the natural one. It has more flavor and it has more aroma, but you could use either or. I'm using this garlic masher to mash the garlic. You can use whatever you have available. I just like this one because my parents got it for me at our garage sale, and it just does an awesome job. But you could do the back of your knife, you can use a mortar, you can use whatever you have. Now that our garlic is mashed, which is probably like the longest part of this recipe, we're gonna do the marinade for our chicken. Now we're gonna do the 2 cloves of garlic. You could do from 2 to 4, it's up to you how much garlic you want in it. We're gonna add about 3 tablespoons of the soy sauce. This is a low sodium soy sauce since we're trying to be health conscious. We're gonna add some honey. You don't need to have too much honey because we have the crushed pineapple, which is also sweet. So I would say 2 tablespoons. Now we're just gonna mix that all so that the honey breaks down. And we're gonna add about 2 pounds of chicken. This is chicken breast. It's cut into strips. I'm just gonna toss it in there. Now we're also gonna need some lime in this marinade. Let me just wash my hands. Okay, so now we're gonna add lime to the marinade. These are tiny little limes, but I would say you use a large regular size lime so that the recipe would call for about 2, depending how much juice they have. So since these are kind of small, I'm gonna do a few of them. Now let's see how much juice we get out of these. That's not too bad. Okay, so now we're gonna add a little bit of rice vinegar. You can use regular vinegar, but I feel like it gives it more of an oriental twist if you add the rice vinegar. We're just gonna add a tiny splash. I like my chicken with a little bit of spiciness, so I'm gonna add some hot sauce. You can use any hot sauce you like. You don't necessarily need to include the hot sauce in this recipe. Now my favorite part is when we're adding the crushed pineapple. This is the can of crushed pineapple. I removed all the water. You make sure that you get the crushed pineapple that is in water and not in syrup. Okay, so now we have our chicken marinated. We marinated it with the soy sauce, the honey, a little bit of rice vinegar, and the optional one is the hot sauce if you like your chicken a little bit spicy. Then we topped that off with the lime juice, and we had, of course, our mashed garlic. Now we're gonna leave this in here marinating while we work on the vegetables. It doesn't have to marinate too long. For the veggies, I'm using a bag of fresh stir-fry veggies. You can use like an oriental mix. It could be fresh or frozen. Now the first thing I wanna do for the veggies is I wanna cut up some onions, and I'm gonna saute them over here. I would say use about half an onion if you're gonna do one bag one small bag of the vegetables. If you're gonna do 2 bags of the vegetables, then I would say do the whole onion. We're also gonna need this garlic and a little bit of the yellow peppers as well. You can use red as well, but I just prefer the yellow, just because of the color. Okay, so we have our garlic, we have our onion, and we have our yellow pepper. We're just gonna come over here, straight to the stovetop. So in this pan, we're gonna cook our chicken. We have it at medium heat. It has 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. And in this one, we're gonna make the vegetables. It also has 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. So now when this pan is nice and hot, we're gonna get our chicken in there. So now that our chicken is starting to cook, we don't want to waste any time and we can get started on the vegetables. Let's put in our onion, our peppers, and our garlic. So now that we have our onions, peppers, and garlic nice and translucent, just a little bit of browning on them, we're gonna add a few of the other ingredients. So first, let's have some soy sauce. Ooh. A little bit of the rice vinegar. That's the sound you wanna hear. And a heaping spoonful of that peanut butter. I personally love peanut butter, so I'm gonna just add a little more. Now this part gets a little tricky because you kind of gotta melt that peanut butter into the whole pan. You're kind of making like a little bit of a paste. Now that you have this paste-like consistency, we're gonna add some coconut milk, but the one in the can, not the one in the carton. We're adding, I would say, about 1/4 of a cup. Gonna bring down that heat a little. Some honey. That's 2 tablespoons. Now I'm gonna add in the vegetables. Once it has this paste, it's nice and golden brown and yummy. Again, you don't need to add salt to this. Soy sauce replacing the salt like it did in the chicken. Remember that this is now at low heat. It's no longer at medium heat. All right, that looks good. Alright, so I'm just putting this at low. I'm covering it up and letting the vegetables kind of steam cook themselves. And over here, I have my chicken already done. So I kind of did it as I was prepping for the vegetables. Once you see that it's nice and golden brown like this, you're good to go. It really kind of depends on the pan you're using. It kind of depends on your stovetop, how long it'll take you to get this color. If you like a little bit more of a crisp on it, you cook it a little longer. So I kind of turned off my chicken now while I'm waiting for the vegetables. All right, so now that the vegetables look nice and bright, you are ready to plate this and eat it. So if you happen to make this recipe, please share it with us on social media using hashtag Hialeah Recipes. All right, there you go. So now you have some Oriental chicken and a nice twist on a regular night.